Okay, this got my attention.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
I took one glance at this title and it got my attention. As we can see here, the San Antonio Spurs nuke extends for hundreds of miles. I have no, that is a title for you right there. I have no, what? I don't know. But I do want to see what this video is about. Now, this is one that no one, at least I haven't seen, recommended for me. I just kind of came across it. So yes, watch it. Now, before we do, clanthemerchfan.com, if you guys want to support the channel. I actually went ahead and added, because I was finally able to, 3Xs. So we have 3Xs finally in the shop. Okay, just letting you guys know about that. But yeah, if you want to support, please go over there, get yourself some merch, man. I got quite a few nice things there. I got so many more coming. Also, become a patron, a YouTube member. That's another way you can support, and that's only $2 a month. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and watch this. San Antonio Spurs nuke extends for hundreds of miles. I have no idea. First, before we do this, because I haven't watched any of it.
The San Antonio Spurs would have been ahead of the curve in their rebuild.
It looked like you got some music. Just turn that off. Boop. Pop.
If back in 2018, President and coach Greg Popovich would have accepted the LA Lakers' reported offer of Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball.
Okay, we got to slow this down a little bit. Hold on. He's already a fast talker. There we go.
All in exchange for Kawhi Leonard. Instead, the franchise, which dominated in the Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker era, accepted an offer for an all-star in DeMar DeRozan, but Debo would pack his bags for Chi-Town in free agency. The Spurs still have a mid-tier center in Jakob Poeltl remaining from that Kawhi Leonard trade, but after losing DeJounte Murray to Atlanta and Lonnie Walker to LA, the Spurs roster overhaul is only beginning to take shape.
No. Look, this is a common mistake. I hear this all the time. Hold on, I wasn't prepared for this, but I do have something in particular that was sent to me. Let me see. Let me go ahead and go to it. Yeah, this is a misconception all of the freaking time. Let me see. Let me show you guys this, because this was actually sent to me, and we did a video on this already. But look here, perfect example. Okay, so what he's saying is that the Spurs traded Kawhi, got Jakob and Keldon, and that's it, and then DeRozan left, and that's not true. As we can see here, DeRozan actually resulted in a first-round pick, because we ended up getting that, and then we got a first-round pick for Malachi, who was, as you guys know, oh my god, it won't let me do anything. As you guys know, he was actually a projected lottery pick. Now, some people say, oh, he's projected, who cares, he wasn't a lottery pick. No, it does matter. Even DeJounte Murray was a projected lottery pick, and we saw what type of jump he was able to make. So yes, that does matter. Okay. But yeah, that was his potential there. And then on top of it, it resulted in a 2024 second and cash considerations, and a 2025 first and a 2025 second. So no, the Spurs didn't just get Keldon Johnson and Jakob for Kawhi. They also got Malachi Branham, 2024 second from the Lakers, cash considerations, and a 2025 first, 2025 second. And I hear this all the time, but no, DeMar DeRozan didn't just leave. The Spurs did a sign and trade. So yeah, they got something out of it.
Going to be a long road for fans in the Alamo, but despite being destined for the lottery, there's still hope for the future. After drafting a smooth, multi-talented combo forward in the Baylor Bear Jeremy Sohan, who should fit nicely next to a player who's due for a breakout 2023 season in Keldon Johnson, giving optimistic fans slight hope their beloved Spurs can shock the world and exceed expectations. But this video puts the future and past into perspective for the 5-time championship-winning organization from the Alamo City. Before that, just 8.9% of you watching right now are subscribed, so if you're in this video and to stay tuned for highlights. It's only a matter of time before Spurs draft robbery from 2019, the 29th overall pick from that year's class in Keldon Johnson, develops into an all-star. After the product of Kentucky.
The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that he probably will become an all-star. I just think that sometimes when we say all-star, it's a little overblown, like just a little bit. Because there's lots of players that's become all-stars, but they weren't star players or weren't superstar caliber players, and they were just really great role players. I don't know, and I just think it's a little overblown. Also, someone like Manu Ginobili, who only been in like 2, I mean, come on, it's a title. It's a title.
He finished his third
and it's an individual accomplishment, but I don't. Yeah.
season at the pro level in San Antonio with averages of 17 points, 6.4 rebounds on an efficient shooting split of 47% from the field, 40% from three-point range, and 75% from the free throw line. The Spurs extended.
And we watched another video that was insane. I think they were talking about his last like 20 games, and it was it might have been 6-man, and he mentioned how he had like 80 from the line. Like his splits were even better than that. It was ridiculous.
Him through 2026-27 on a 4-year, $80 million contract. Whether or not he deserved that deal is coming up, and we'll also look at a player
he definitely deserved that. Like that deal is like very team friendly.
Could potentially have a Draymond Green type impact for the Spurs culture. Before that, we'll be quickly looking at San Antonio's history. The Iceman George Gervin era is the time frame the Spurs will be honoring with their new Classic Edition threads in 2022-23.
It's funny how the Spurs start losing, and now all of a sudden we get these cool jerseys.
It's the team's 50th anniversary, a history which has seen San Antonio become the 5th most successful franchise among all 30 teams. The championship rings they've won only trail the Boston Celtics, Minneapolis/LA Lakers, Chicago Bulls, and Philadelphia/Golden State Warriors. Considering San Antonio's rings were fueled by quiet, thought of as unmarketable top players like David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Kawhi Leonard, San Antonio being right next to those historic franchises I just mentioned may have taken you by surprise. Because for
if it took you by surprise, yeah, go outside. Yeah.
capturing a dominant 5 titles in the span of 15 years, ranging from 1999 until 2014, the Spurs have failed to get the respect they deserve in either the mainstream, YouTube, or traditional media.
True. I'm like the only one. I'm the only one that gives Spurs credit. True. Like this is the only channel. There's no one else. No one gives Spurs credit. That's it. True.
Considering the Alamo is the 7th largest city in the US, it's strange that the Spurs have been labeled as a small market organization. With that said, while San Antonio has a historical advantage over their in-state rivals, the Dallas Mavericks, as of right now, this Spurs team is evidently the much weaker squad between their Texas counterpart.
Dude, not only that, man, our whole division is scary. It sucks so bad. Like it's scary. Look at the Memphis Grizzlies, Pelicans. It's scary. It's scary.
Instead of thinking about winning another title, it's disappointing that the all-time winningest head coach in the history of the NBA, in Popovich, will have his final task be to develop the next wave of talent.
I'm still trying to figure out what this is. The San Antonio Spurs Nuke extends for hundreds. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna read this.
Organization. In some sense, it's good that the new influx of players get to learn from a legend. In another sense, many feel that Coach Pop's time to step down as the man in charge should have came
I don't get this. Which decline trade slowed down San Antonio's rebuild? Can the Spurs shock the world and avoid the draft lottery? I'm so confused. What is this video about?
Several years ago at this point. Regardless, with all-stars leaving San Antonio in consecutive off-seasons now, in DeRozan last year and Murray this year, it's time to not merely rebuild the core from ground zero, but to rebuild the entire culture from top to bottom.
Huh?
Whether or not you can do that with Popovich there remains to be seen, but it's...
What does that mean? Redo the culture from top to bottom? What is he talking about? I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about. Can you redo... You hold on. Maybe I'm just missing it. I don't want to...
Antonio in consecutive off-seasons now, in DeRozan last year and Murray this year, it's time to not merely rebuild the core from ground zero, but to rebuild the entire culture.
I totally disagree with rebuilding the culture, but if he explains what that means, okay.
From top to bottom. Whether or not you can do that with Popovich there remains to be seen, but it's not like the Spurs ownership is going to initiate the parting of ways with their legendary coach. Let's change focus and move on to the factors which the San Antonio fan base...
What is redo the culture? I hear this all the time, and I have no idea what it means. What do you mean by redo the culture? You need to change the culture. Like, what is Spurs culture? What is Spurs culture? Spurs culture is get the right type of guys that's willing to be coached and guys that work hard. That's basically it, okay? The Spurs have had many different characters come in and out of San Antonio, and they've been successful in that. What is this? I mean, the one thing that the Spurs have changed that I think was good, and this is changing the culture, I guess, is that they're not necessarily like throwing too much money at veterans. Like, they used to do that a lot. But then again, I mean, we're at the point now where we're not necessarily in a position where we can get a lot of good veterans. Like even getting good veterans on this team doesn't make a lot of sense for us right now. Like it doesn't matter that much. I mean, you could say maybe Doug McDermott is paid, but like he's not paid that much. I mean, it's about the going rate for a guy like him. So I don't know. I have no idea what redo the culture means. The guys that the Spurs got thus far, Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, and Blake Wesley, they all seem like Spurs-like guys. I don't know. I don't know. Should we have went? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Can look forward.
And they've already chose a direction. Like, yeah, I don't know.
My player comparison for Keldon Johnson is next, but I first wanted to cover the number 9 overall pick from 2022's NBA draft in Jeremy Sohan. Introducing the backbone for the San Antonio Spurs, as the versatile big man who could play both ends of the floor at power forward or the center spot is coming off a couple dominant showings in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA
He can also guard 1 through 5.
tournament. On college basketball's biggest stage, Sohan posted 15.9 rebound averages, displaying his polished footwork and perimeter jump shooting. For a near 7-footer, the man's poise to maintain balance and mental toughness on highly contested jumpers is a main reason the Spurs took him 9th overall. Jeremy's 6'9", 230-pound frame allows him to see over the top of the defense and set up teammates with naturally gifted passing chops. Sohan's point-forward-based playing style is perfect for the modern NBA. Before playing at Baylor, the now 19-year-old played at the Under-16 FIBA tournament. Given his Polish background allows him to play for the national team. Making a long story short, Sohan dominated that U16 tourney, leading Poland to a gold medal while becoming tournament MVP. Usually a regular with his national team, Sohan's so committed to the Spurs season that he skipped competing in the Eurobasket to focus on being a rookie in the NBA. Jeremy was one of, if not the most underrated talent from 2022's draft class. Sohan's handle off the dribble allows him to gain unstoppable downhill momentum.
You know, someone tried to tell me, like when I was talking about Jeremy Sohan, before we took him, I said that he has really good handles, and someone tried to convince me that he didn't. I don't know where they were coming from on that one. He has really good handles, especially for that size. I don't know.
Off the bounce, then make crafty finishes at the hoop. Jeremy's game is based around skill, not athleticism, which always helps a point forward to develop his game in the NBA.
Yeah, his touch around the rim is ridiculous. Like, he had the same amount of percentage as far as around the rim than other guys that dunked at a much higher volume. That is really, really impressive. That shows that he has nice touch, and he could potentially be a pretty decent jump shooter down the line.
The topic of progression, Keldon Johnson's done just that, annually expanding his repertoire throughout his first 3 seasons. Limited to 17 games as a rookie, KJ's three-point percentage would fall off by the time he became a sophomore, but thankfully that deep range mark would fly right back up to an elite 40% mark in 2022. On a career high by far, 5.3 triples attempted per game. With a blistering first step, unafraid contact finishing at the bucket, that 3-point shot forces defenders to press up and allows Keldon to get as much space as he wants at the hoop. There's a long way to go before KJ is a 3-level scorer who's able to carry a team, but being the Spurs' second option behind DeJounte Murray in 21-22 will be experience that Keldon benefits off. The bodies that Keldon can catch on poster jams, strength that he has to bump off defenders in the lane, resembles a young Kawhi Leonard. I'm predicting it'll be a rough season, but it'll be another valuable season of development, and with a 2023 draft pick, who knows, the Spurs could be right back in the mix.
Okay, so does the nuke extends for hundreds of miles just mean that we're rebuilding?
What's most intriguing about the Spurs in your opinion? Best answer down below in the comments gets next video shoutout, and the top 5 commenters with the most shoutouts by September 21st earn free merchandise of their choosing. Last video I asked, what's going to make or break the Mavericks in 2023? Kent Saludo gets the shoutout for saying, we are them and see Wood.
Is that it? That was it. Okay,
And
how do I feel about this video? I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't a bad video by any means. He just kind of went through, you know, the typical stuff that we hear about the Spurs, that they're rebuilding, blah, blah, blah. Days of old is gone. But I completely, and I mean completely disagree.
The Boston Celtics.
I completely disagree with the idea that the San Antonio Spurs need to change the culture. I have no idea what that means. And every time someone tries to explain it to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just being honest. I mean, changing the culture, I don't know what changing the culture looks like. I have no idea. I don't think the culture is the problem. The Spurs just don't have talent. That's it. I don't. Yeah. I mean, Kawhi Leonard didn't leave the San Antonio Spurs because of the culture. Okay. And I know that that's kind of been changed. And like people start to use Kawhi as an example of another guy that left San Antonio. Like not many people leave. Okay. Star players just leave. But you got to keep in mind Kawhi Leonard's situation is very unique. Okay, he had a lot of people in his ear. There was nothing that the San Antonio Spurs could do about it. Uncle Dennis really did have a hold on Kawhi Leonard's decision, and at the end of the day, he wanted to go to LA. The fact that it didn't matter, was it, did he want a championship? I mean, he was close to winning one with the Spurs. He went to Toronto, won one there, and still left to LA, even with a really good Toronto team that probably could have ran it back. So I don't think, it had nothing to do with us. He wasn't going to stay anyway. Anyways, you guys want to support the channel, Clan the Merch Fan, link in the description for that. Or you can become a Patreon and YouTube member, man. I really appreciate all the love. Until next time, guys, bye.